Well, effective today, you can report corrupt activities to the judiciary from your phone or your computer. This follows the launch of a digital app which allows citizens to make complaints to the judicial service, all in a bid to enhance transparency and efficiency in the justice delivery system. Ifo Evans Chinwe brings us the latest on the subject.
With this app, the judicial service will be able to increase inclusion as people get access to services that previously were out of their reach. This web-based complaint platform has been developed by the judicial services in partnership with the Accountability, Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, ARAP. Saram Awushi Agbaminya is the program's officer.
It was developed by a group of IT developers which ARAP hired, and with the support of the judiciary, we've developed this tool which you can access on your computer or you can download as an app. And then you go through the process, you file a complaint, it goes to the judicial service. So you can file a complaint anywhere at all that you are. You don't have to be in the office to file a complaint. You can just use your phone. So that's the unique thing about this. You can get real-time updates as to who is attending to your case, where is your complaint. You can follow that, and once there's a decision, you also get that on the platform. So that's the added value that this is bringing to citizens. It's not cast in stone, so definitely it can change, it can be amended and all that. But most importantly, what we see as the value of this is the fact that people don't have to trek long distances to make complaints, but they can simply just sit at the comfort of their houses or wherever and lodge complaints.
The judicial service has, however, promised to protect identities of all persons who lodge complaints via this app.
The National Health Insurance Authority says its digitization drive will ultimately see to an end the stress people go through to either become members of the scheme or when renewing their membership. The DigiCode, which has been hooked to almost all the mobile networks in Ghana, will provide quality service and expand access whilst also minimizing operational costs of the authority. Richard Kojonyako brings us more.
The National Health Insurance Authority is testing the option to allow members to complete their annual membership renewals comfortably and safely from their mobile phones by using a code. The program, which is being piloted in the Sujaman and West Mamprusi districts in the eastern and northern regions, will enable members to renew their membership cards via mobile phone to reduce waiting times and queues at various districts in which they operate. As part of its digitization drive, the NHIA will, in a few days to come, launch a program dubbed NHIS Mobile Membership Renewal and Authentication Project. Isua Mensah is the Director of Corporate Affairs of the National Health Insurance Authority.
A lot of our business that we carry out at the district offices has to do with renewals, and it all must happen at the district office as we speak today. Of all these 10-point-something million people, they had to walk through the corridors of NHIS to be able to do their renewals. We have a situation where we have very poor member experience. As an organization, one of the things we want to do now is to begin to have an outside-in approach where the needs of our members are addressed. We don't want to carry on business as usual where our people will go and sit down under trees or on the benches for so long in a day. We want to change. We want our members, we want to take them serious. We want the needs of our members to be addressed. And so we want to reduce the waiting time that they spend at our district office by a whole 95%, which means that we want to take away the traffic that traditionally will go to our district offices.
According to him, the scheme has been undergoing some reforms since last year, with emphasis on improving its financial standing, migrate from manual mode of claims payment to electronic process. They are also enhancing clinical and internal audits to ensure that the scheme is able to take legal action against service providers who breach contractual agreements. The NHIS says currently it has a membership of nearly 11 million, representing 37% of the country's population, with 45% of members in the informal sector, and hope the new mobile renewal approach will further increase their numbers. Richard Kwejonya, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
Away from the authority, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has intervened in addressing cross-border challenges between Ghana and Burkina Faso, with emphasis on tomato importation. The sub-regional body's technical arm, that is the Permanent Interstate Committee for Drought Control in the Sahel, is spearheading the effort. This follows JoyNews documentary, Desert Tomatoes, which highlighted the ordeal Ghanaian traders and transporters endured in importing tomatoes from Burkina Faso. Prince Appiah was in Burkina Faso for the high-level stakeholder meeting and brings us the latest.
So the cross-border trade between Ghana and Burkina Faso is very critical to the economy of both nations. Early in the year, we brought you a report on how traders from Ghana go through a lot of challenges transporting tomatoes from Burkina Faso here to Ghana. The first time in the history of both countries, the Ghana National Association of Traders, Tomato Traders and Transporters have met with the Federation of Tomato Producers here in Burkina Faso, together with the technical hand of ECOWAS, to find a long-standing solution to the challenges that the traders face. Farmers from tomato growing communities like Kaya, Kungusi and others met their Ghanaian counterpart. It is the first ever meeting for the 20 years of the cross-border trade between the two countries to find lasting solutions to challenges in the tomato trade. These challenges were highlighted in JoyNews documentary titled Desert Tomatoes.
You have done a very good investigation. You come up with the major challenges that traders are facing in this tomato cross-border between Burkina and Ghana, specifically the women. You know, 95% of the traders are women. And your documentary come up with the real problem, what they are facing.
Brahima Sisi is analyst of intra-regional trade and transport of agricultural commodities in Sahel and West African countries for SAILS. SAILS, the Permanent Interstate Committee for Drought Control in the Sahel, is the technical arm of ECOWAS spearheading the efforts.
The main stakeholders who are involving in tomato value chain, from the producers to the traders, including the transporters, for them to sit together. This is the first time that all of them sit together, discuss about the problem they have, and find among themselves the solution that would be implemented on the ground. The other problem, like the Oros harassment issue, we will work on it. We will meet the Burkinabe top authorities, the police, IGP. We have already a meeting, we scheduled a meeting with the IGP at the police level, with the custom director, service director.
The Ghana National Tomato Traders and Transporters Association were excited with the meeting. Eric Osei-Tufo is chairman.
This is the first time that we have met, including ECOWAS people, the Burkina farmers, their agric officials, as I can say, the agronomists and their technocrats. They are all among this meeting. So this meeting has really benefited us because it seems all the loopholes have been covered.
General Secretary of the province of Kaya in Burkina Faso, where the meeting was held, says the meeting is timely.
On the road, when you are going in Ghana, we're coming from everybody wants something with you, and that's not good. That's not good for the economy of tomatoes. And we administration, we working with also ECOWAS to make rules which can make easy the business between the two countries.
It is expected that if all these measures are put in place, there will be smooth trade between the two countries. My name is Prince Appiah, reporting from Burkina Faso.
Well, let's move on. And Liberian academic Dr. Robtel Najar Pele is pushing for new ways to combat corruption. The Oxford University lecturer has so far authored 2 books meant to teach children the need to remain honest. She believes this could prevent the next generation of adults from abandoning their innate potential of being corrupt. Joseph Akable met Dr. Pele on the sidelines of an AU dialogue on corruption, which was convened in Botswana. He brings us this report.
They thought about how Ma and Pa left their first church, the Pentecostal Tabernacle, because the pastor was caught taking money from the offering to build his family a mansion on the beach. They thought about Bagba and the round C word. They realized how much they did not like the word at all.
A depiction of one of the books authored by Liberian Oxford-based academic Dr. Dr. Pele.
The title of the book is Bagba, and it means, loosely translated as trickery, that bad thing in the Bassa language, which is one of the 15 languages in Liberia. And it's basically an anti-corruption children's book. The intention of the book is to have a national conversation with kids in Liberia as well as across the continent of Africa about what it means to be accountable to oneself, one's community, one's nation, one's continent, and one's globe.
In this book, Dr. Pele tells the story of siblings who traveled to the Liberian capital of Monrovia to visit their uncle.
In the capital, they have a series of experiences that remind them of this Bassa word, Bagba, which effectively means corruption.
She believes children are innately honest and must be sensitized early enough about corruption before society changes them.
If you ask a 5 or 6-year-old child, what do you think of this? They'll tell you the bold truth without necessarily sugarcoating it, without necessarily rationalizing with it, without necessarily fudging the truth. So my intention of writing this book is to really cultivate that natural honesty, that refreshingly truthful nature that children have naturally until they're socialized to be dishonest, and to use the verbal tools, or to give them the verbal tools to have conversations about how the confusing ethical codes of the adults really affect their lives.
Dr. Pele is confident adults could equally benefit from well-informed children who will be in a position to reject moves aimed at corrupting them.
So that's really the intention. I think children really can be the moral compass of the world and the moral compass of our continent. So it's not teaching them about the values of ethics, because I think they are already naturally honest. It's using them to remind adults about why it's necessary to maintain that innocent honesty that we all have when we're children. And then we gradually become socialized to be dishonest, unfortunately.
Her 2 books have already been approved as supplementary reading material by the Education Service in Liberia and Ghana. An interest in her work is gradually showing up in the music industry. Liberian musician Takun J has adapted her book titled Jaka in a Song. Like many other activists, Dr. Pele hopes her contribution to the corruption fight yields some results. Joseph Akable, JoyNews, Gaborone.
And back in Ghana, some residents of Kumasi look forward to a bigger fortune in the National Weekly Lotto, with locked-up numbers linked with former President John Dramani Mahama. Over the weekend, Lotto stakers at Moshizongo and other communities won massively using the former president's birth year, 1958. Lava firms Kwesidabra went downtown to find the euphoria surrounding the win and the anticipation for the next draw.
If
you don't have money, you don't have a say. If not for the lottery, my daughter, who has gotten nursing training admission, would have gotten pregnant. Chako Sela Ekuyalaraba is overjoyed. Her burden has been assuaged by 2 magic numbers, 19 and 58.
When John
Mahama came to Moshizongo, she says, I went there, and it was there we were told of the year he was born, and so we decided to stake it. I staked with 10 cedis and won 2,000 cedis. I've gone for another Chako consignment and deposited 1,000 cedis in a bank to cater for my daughter's education. Laraba is not the only celebrant. Aishetu is a resident of Dechamso. She heard a conversation about the number and decided to stake 5 cedis worth.
na me was store ti me dru fie ne say mama aba ekrom ha say na me omubo say ye fe ne say
I was at a store and I heard of it. I had to look for a secluded place to stay. I got 1,000 cedis. Krofum-based Alfred is among those who won the least amount of 200 cedis. After we returned from the rally, I staked 1 cedi. The craze reportedly started from Barakese. A mentally unstable man is said to have encouraged people during former President Mahama's visit to stake lotto with his vehicle registration figures. Lotto seller Kwame Bequin recounts several attempts he made on hearing of the Barakese incident. Since I missed the registration plate numbers, I had to fall on the birth year. I staked and lost 30 cedis each on Thursday and Friday. Finally, I won on the Saturday. Some other friends also won. Now, people like Bequin believe there are 2 more numbers locked up in the lottery draw machine. The former president's age 60 and his birth date 29. Some even add the month 11.
According to lucky winners, former President John Mahama holds the key to the economic chest. 2020 is going to be an interesting year. From Krofum, reporting for JoyNews, I'm Kwesi Deborah.
I always love that guy's report. Good morning to you, Kwesi Deborah. And it looks like 1958 wished a lot of people well within that period or that weekend as they went around that venue where the rally was being held. 1958 wished people well. Well, that is where we have to leave this with you before we do the newspaper headlines.